Steps to making your adjustable apron. What you will need: a sewing machine, thread, scissors, pins, material times 2 pieces per student, 1 template per pair, and this will come in a bag with a number. The number also corresponds to the number of the machine you will use. You'll also need an iron and ironing board. Step 1. Take your large rectangular piece of material and fold it in half. It's important that you fold it with the finished edges at the top and bottom of the fold. Making sure the centre fold line is against the folded edges of the material, pin the pattern template to the material edges. Step 2. You need to follow the same process for your sleeve edges. Fold your remaining piece of material in half long ways. Place your sleeve pattern template on the material. It doesn't matter which way, just make sure all the edges remain on the inside of the material. Pin the pattern template to the material. Step 3. For both pieces of material, carefully cut around the edges of your pattern. When cutting your other sleeve edges, remember to cut your notches. These will come in handy later when you're lining up the material. For your apron, this will just mean cutting the sleeve edge. After you've removed your pins, you will have your main apron piece and 2 sleeve edge pieces. The side edges will now need hemming, and this is to avoid fraying. Step 4. To hem an edge, you need to firstly fold your edge about 1 centimetre and iron flat. You then fold your edge again, matching the width of your first fold, and iron flat. Then pin your edge. Repeat these steps for the other side edge of your apron. Step 5. You will now stitch each hem on the machine. For this, select the number 1 straight stitch. You want to line up your needle as close as possible to the inside edge. Remember, after a few starting stitches, do a few reverse stitches before you keep going straight. This will reinforce your stitching and stop it from unravelling. As you're stitching, make sure you don't accidentally go off the edge, and remove pins as you go. Remember to do a reverse stitch as you come to the end of your hem. Repeat this process for your other side edge. You'll notice the top and bottom edge of your apron is already finished and sealed. This would probably be okay to leave, but we'll make a half hem just to make sure it's not going to fray. Step 6. To do this, simply fold and iron a 2 centimetre edge. Then pin this edge. Line up the material edge with the edge of the machine foot and stitch using a straight stitch. Repeat these steps for the top edge of the apron. Now the real fun begins. This part of the apron gets a bit technical, so make sure you're following steps carefully. Step 7. Lay out your apron face up. Line up your sleeve pieces on top of your sleeve edges, trying to match up notches and make sure there is an even amount of excess edge on the top and bottom of the sleeve. Once you've done this, pin both sleeve edges. Step 8. On each edge, fold the excess material under, matching it up with the edge of the apron. Pin the folded edge, but not to the apron underneath. Once you've done this, remove the other pins that attached the sleeve edges to the apron. Step 9. One at a time, stitch these edges on the machine. This time you will select stitch 4, which is a zigzag stitch. Line the edge of the material with the foot of the machine. Remember to use a short reverse stitch at the beginning and end of your edge. Step 10. Place each sleeve edge piece wrong side up. Make a 1 centimetre fold on the longest edge and iron flat. This can get tricky when ironing around corners, so go slow and try and keep the edge thickness even. pin these edges. So now we've looked at how to do a hem, which is a finished edge of fabric. And now we're going to learn how to create a seam, which is a line where two pieces of fabric are joined together. Step 11. The first step is to turn your apron upside down so that the back or wrong side is facing you. Then taking your sleeve edge piece, making sure the folded edge is facing you, place it on top of the sleeve edge. Make sure the edges match up with the edges beneath, and your notches should help with this. Pin in place. Then repeat these steps for the other sleeve edge. Step 12. Once you've lined up the edge with the edge of the machine foot, stitch along the sleeve edge using a regular straight stitch. Now come back and stitch the very edge with zigzag stitch number 4 to stop fraying. And this is what your seam should look like. Step 13. Turn your seam edge out and iron flat. Then tuck your edge piece under. Turn your apron over and iron along the seam line once again. Step 14. Now stitch the pinned edge using a straight stitch. You want to stitch it as close to the line as possible, making sure you don't accidentally go off the edge. Do the same thing for the outside edge. This edge is already attached securely, but the extra stitching is called a top stitch, and the purpose is to finish the edge nicely and also to help it sit flat. Congratulations, your apron is almost finished. You'll just need to add the tie, but this step will come after you've printed on your material.